Will the House come to order?
Aloha and good afternoon. Today's invocation will be delivered by Representative Kanani Souza. Will the members who wish to participate please rise?
Please be seated. Aloha colleagues and guests, happy April Fool's Day. 65 years ago on March 18th, 1959, President Eisenhower signed the statehood bill, the Hawaii Admissions Act, into law. That same day, the Hawaii State Senate in the Hawaii Territorial Legislature voted to adopt the Aloha state name for Hawaii as the nickname that our state would be known by. The article about the events of March 18, 1959 were printed on the front page of the Honolulu Advertiser a day later on March 19th. The article referencing Hawaii as the Aloha State was titled, "Aloha State Gets Senate Nod," and this is what it said. With only one dissenting vote, Hawaii senators voted yesterday to adopt Aloha State as Hawaii's official nickname. A week-long poll recently conducted by the Honolulu Advertiser showed that Aloha State is the overwhelming choice among local residents. The roll call vote in the Senate was 23-1. The lone nay was cast by Senator Kazuhisa Abe. The joint resolution now goes to the House. Abe said the honor of picking the popular name for Hawaii belonged to the first state legislature. But Senator Hebden Porteous, minority whip, saw no such bars and said people throughout the U.S. are referring to us already as a state. Senator Orrin E. Long told his colleagues, from the standpoint of political and social equity, the last territorial legislature should suggest a name and adopt it. A move to put forth a resolution adopting the nickname Sweet State laughingly was shunted aside. Senate President Herbert K.H. Lee said there was no question that the legislature can and should adopt Aloha State as the state nickname. Here we are 65 years later, and I wonder if the local residents of this state, if given a poll today, would provide a resounding vote of confidence to call our island home the Aloha State. Would they be as confident today as they were over 6 decades ago to overwhelmingly give this state the same nickname? Would we, as the legislature, be as confident today to give the state this nickname? Aloha seems to be fading in our communities, from people fighting to survive here in Hawaii to the hateful comments I read on social media. It is our job as representatives from our respective districts to keep Aloha at the forefront of our state and this chamber by embracing the diversity in our communities, to respecting our colleagues despite our different viewpoints. My hope is that Aloha is not all lost, and for now, some of that Aloha that we are missing from the past just simply remains dormant with the intention of revival as we move forward. The Aloha State name is codified in the Hawaii Revised Statute, Section 5.7, and it says, the name Aloha State is adopted, established, and designated as the official popular name for the state to be effective so long as the legislature of the state does not otherwise provide. Let's work in a manner where one day the name of the Aloha State does not have to be changed because we no longer have Aloha. We are ambassadors of Aloha, and it starts here in this very chamber. I am so humbled to work with all of you. Mahalo and have a great week.
Thank you, Representative Souza. Mr. Clerk, item 1, please call the roll.
Mr. Ayu, Mr. Alcos, Ms. Amato, Ms. Bellotti, Mr. Chun, Ms. Cochran, Mr. Evslin, Mr. Ganadin, Mr. Garcia, Mr. Garrett, Mr. Gates, Mr. Hashem, Mr. Holt, Ms. Hussey Burdick, Ms. Ichiyama, Ms. Kahaloa, Ms. Capella, Mr. Kila, Ms. Kitagawa, Mr. Kobayashi, Mr. Kong, Ms. Lachika, Ms. Lamosau, Ms. Lowen, Ms. Martin, Ms. Martinez, Mr. Matayoshi, Ms. Matsumoto, Mr. Miyake, Ms. Mizuno, Ms. Morikawa, Ms. Nakamura, Mr. Nakashima, Mr. Nishimoto, Mr. Onishi, Ms. Peruso, Mr. Pirrick, Ms. Poe, Mr. Quinlan, Mr. Saiki, Mr. Sayama, Ms. Souza, Mr. Takayama, Ms. Takenouchi, Mr. Tam, Mr. Tarnas, Mr. Todd, Mr. Ward, Mr. Woodson, Mr. Yamashita, Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Mr. Speaker, all 51 members are present.
Thank you. Item 2, reading of the journal. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, may this matter be deferred.
So ordered. Item 3, Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the governor?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Item 4, Mr. Clerk, are there any Senate communications?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Members, introductions. Representative Kila.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is my honor to introduce the guest of Floor Honoree CEO Kuhio Lewis from the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement. To the guests in the gallery, please rise when your name is called, and please hold your applause till the last name is called. In the audience today, we have Nick Carroll, Jade Carroll, Kumuhina Wong, Mehana Hind, Kamuela Barr, Maddie McKeague, and Kaleo Pa'avares. Welcome to your House of Representatives.
Representative Tam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the audience today, we have friends that are visiting from Washington, D.C. and Texas. So when I call your name, please stand to be recognized. We have Howard O., Reginald Greer Sr., Reginald Greer II, and Pamela Greer. Welcome to the Hawaii House of Representatives.
Representative Gates.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the gallery, we have the pleasure of hosting some family members. When I call your name, please rise. So first, my uncle Bingham Moananu. And his lovely wife, Patrice. And their son, Elias. Yes. And they're here supporting my nephew, Darius Moananu from the Waipahu football team. Welcome to your House of Representatives.
Representative Matsumoto.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've never gotten to introduce my mom in my 12 years of being here at the legislature because she's always working on the farm every single day. So if I can introduce my mom, Sharon Cheap. Wave your hand, Mom. Welcome to your House of Representatives.
All right, members, with no further introductions, let's move on to the order of the day. Item 5, floor presentations. Mr. Clerk, are there any floor presentations?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, there are 2 floor presentations today. The first being House Resolution number 224, congratulating the Waipahu Marauders football team on winning the 2023 Division I State Football Championship. This resolution is offered by Representative Chun.
Representative Chun.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to adopt the resolution.
Representative Lamasao.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the resolutions be adopted. Any discussions, Representative Chun?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I stand in strong support of this resolution. Despite a rough start to this season, the Waipahu High School football team embraced this challenge and this past November secured their second Division I football state championship in 5 years. Today, we honor the exceptional achievements of the team and have some of them on the floor with us today. Please allow me to introduce head coach Bryson Carvalho, our own assistant coach Lehua Santurnio, and players Caleb Lauifi, RJ Clemente, Ty Ipia Barrett, and Eric Moananu. Thank you. Coach Carvalho has been the head coach of the Waipahu High School Marauders since 2015, and along with his coaching staff, exemplify Vince Lombardi's thoughts on coaching. They call it coaching, but it is teaching. You do not just tell them it is so, but you show them and the reasons why it is so. And you repeat until they are convinced, until they know. Along with the rest of the coaching staff at Waipahu High School, They serve not only as instructors in the game, but also as mentors and guides, instilling valuable life lessons in their players. The player achievements on the field are a testament to the dedication and guidance provided by their coaches. Despite starting the season with 3 consecutive losses against Campbell, Kapolei, and Kamehameha, they remained focused and committed on improvement. As the season progressed, they persevered, securing crucial victories against Radford, Waianae, Castle, Kailua, Lelehua, Farrington, and finally, a triumphant win over defending champions Konawaina in the state football championship. In the face of this adversity, Coach Carvalho and his coaching staff have shown remarkable leadership, instilling resilience and determination in their players, allowing them to turn their season around and ending on the highest notes as Division I state champions. Mr. Speaker, I now yield to the other representative from Waipahu.
Representative Lamasao.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In support, in addition to the honorees on the floor with us today, we should also extend our congratulations to the entire Marauder football team. Please stand. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, we should congratulate them on their remarkable achievements, and once a Marauder, always a Marauder. In the gallery today, we also have assistant coaches Andrew Stewart and Nathaniel Timoteo. Please stand. And Mr. Speaker, may all their names be entered into the journal.
So ordered.
In life, we are fortunate to encounter mentors who believe in us, challenge us, and guide us towards greatness. Coach Carvalho and Coach Saturnio, Coach Stewart, and Coach Timoteo demonstrated unwavering dedication to coaching, teaching, and mentorship. Caleb, Lauifi, RJ, Kalamete, Tai IPL, Barrett, Eric Moananu, and the rest of the Marauder football team are well-deserved in their Division I championship win and will take many valuable lessons with them as they move on to the future. Congratulations and go Marauders. Thank you.
All right, members will be taking a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Motion is carried. Representative Chun, please proceed with the lay and certificate presentation. Do a quick photo. Mr. Clerk, is there another floor presentation?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. House Resolution number 225, recognizing the achievements of Kuhio Lewis as President and Chief Executive Officer of the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement. This resolution is offered by Representative Ward.
Representative Ward.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for the adoption of the resolution.
Representative Holt.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the resolution be adopted. Any discussion? Representative Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in very strong support because I don't know of a better individual or organization deserving for what it has done for the people of Hawaii, and particularly the Native community of Hawaii. Kuhio Lewis is the president and CEO of CNHA, better known specifically as the Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement. In fact, I say it's CNHA so often I forget that it's a long-term Council for Native Hawaiian Advancement. And advancement is exactly what they have done, Mr. Speaker. It is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to enhance the cultural, economic, political, and community development for Native Hawaiians, and they've done a great job at that. And I know I have a limited time to mention some of the things that they've done over his 6 short years at the helm since 2018. First and foremost, Kuhio and CNHA were one of the first organizations to come to the plight of the survivors and the victims of the Maui fires. They set up the Hawaiian Trades Academy. So far, they've trained 400 individuals to help Maui rebuild. I think even probably head of the Maui Community College. They were right there within a few weeks, right on the scene in Maui. Within the same time frame, Kuhio and CNHA launched a new housing consolidated program and website for Maui wildfire survivors, for people who lost their homes and they could find a place to live. In the process, they created the Maui leasing program, where Maui property owners would lease to CNHA. CNHA would then sublet to, right now, 900 individual families and persons who were without homes. 900, that's one organization and one individual who's done that. And on top of all this, they've given millions of dollars to the community foundation, the Hawaii Community Foundation. Mr. Speaker, I could go on and on because I've only talked about Maui, but they've done things other than Maui, and if I may, I will proceed to mention some of those things. First of which is the pop-up makeke. Most people don't know what pop-up makeke is, but it's an online vendor communication for small businesses to put their products on Amazon and other places and throughout the world. And this is the whole point of the entrepreneurship for the Hawaiian community. Mr. Speaker, some of you know that for 10 years in 10 countries, that's what I did before I became a member of the House of Representatives, doing entrepreneurship training. Very key to hire those who hire other people. In CNHA's nationally recognized, they have an emergency rental assistance program. They have a very successful loan fund, and they have the largest community development financial institution program in the state of Hawaii. They don't have a CNHA bank yet, but maybe that's on the way, Kuhio. I don't know yet. The point is they're actively getting money into the Hawaiian community, into projects, and into individuals' hands to prosper. And one of the things that all of us know and probably most proud of is that they have their annual convention, kind of like the state of the Lahuian culture of the Hawaiian people, which is once a year, and many of you know that they did it on the mainland this year because sadly and importantly, to know that most of the Hawaiians, more Hawaiians have now moved to the mainland than there are actually in the state of Hawaii. But this is the biggest grouping of Hawaiians in the world, and it's a way of keeping the culture and the network of Hawaiian advancement in perspective, which points to the reason why there is a CNHA, to do that, to keep the cement of the culture and the people together. And lastly, Mr. Speaker, I would be amiss if I didn't note that the CNHA has been awarded a $27 million contract to advance tourism in the state of Hawaii, which is a challenge, as all of us know, in this particular room. So, Mr. Speaker, in summary, we have before us clearly a very accomplished leader of an excellent organization and with immense and far-reaching accomplishments. I regret time does not allow me to go into all of his awards, as Hawaii Business Magazine 20 for the next 20 and the Pacific Business News 40 for the next 40 and the 2023 book of list of power leaders. This, Mr. Speaker, is a rising star. Now I end with a personal note. All the things that I've just mentioned, Mr. Speaker, I had assumed that OHA would be doing, or DHHL. And I hope you've provoked them to jealousy, or you merge with them, or you show them some of the things that can be done by the creativity of what you've done, and then some of the things that Nick has done to win a number of millions of dollars. So, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the House of Representatives, we honor Mr. Lewis and CNHA for having done for the state of Hawaii and the Hawaiian people. Will he and they please stand for a hearty round of applause? Mr. Speaker, I now yield to Representative Garcia.
Representative Garcia.
In support of the resolution, just wanted to say thank you so much, Kuhio and CNHA, for your leadership in moving our Lahui forward. Their headquarters resides in District 42, and as I talk to lots of the residents, Mr. Speaker, within the surrounding area, there are so many families who have been impacted by the help of CNHA, especially during COVID, during the lockdowns, the Maui fires, but just so many help. But what I find very impressing is the fact that they not just help people out financially, but they empower, not just enable, but empower people with the tools and resources to rise up in life and training them in all sorts of ways. So thank you, Kuhio. Thank you guys for all of your support for Lahui. And there was one Kuhio 100 years ago, and we got one more today, so thank you.
Mr. Speaker,
Representative Ward.
there is one important thing that I forgot to mention, and that's the secret sauce of this gentleman. And I have one quote to read, and I will end there. This is what Kuhio said to one of his interviews after an award he received. Who I am is always pushing the bar, always raising the bar, always trying to push the limits and make a difference, he says. That's what really motivates me, is the ability to help people, especially those in need, because I was in that boat, and if it weren't for people helping me throughout that time, I wouldn't have been able to get through the hole I was in. This is a message that I think all of us need to take to heart. Keep pushing and helping others, and from that, we get acknowledged as we are today. Let's give another round of applause for Mr. Kuhio Lewis.
Representative Holt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I really appreciate the representative from Hawaii Kai for doing this floor presentation today. And you know, Kuhio is such a great guy, and one of the best things that he can do is assemble such a great team that he has. And this is only a few members of the awesome team that CNHA has. And you know, we all know what they've done for the Maui fire, but let's not forget the great work that they've done during the COVID pandemic, you know, putting together the rental and mortgage relief funds and really administering, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars to ensure that our families were taken care of. And you know, it was mentioned about the tourism contract they have with the Kilohana Destination Management contract is really awesome. You know, I was able to go down and see the Kilohana hula show that we have now at the Waikiki Shell, and I think that's a great attraction that's, you know, free for all to go and see when they come and visit us here in Hawaii, and to kind of bring back the roots of the old days. And you know, just some of the other programs, the Trade Academy was already mentioned, but the Kuhana Business Program is a great thing that we have going for our small businesses here in Hawaii. And they've gone through numerous cohorts, which has created a lot of, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs here in our state, a lot of Native Hawaiian entrepreneurs. And I really want to thank you for putting that on. And you know, as was mentioned in our invocation, it may seem as aloha may be fading these days, but I'd like to assure you guys that Kuhio and his awesome team definitely exude aloha, and I just want to thank you guys so much for all that you guys do.
Members will be taking a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Motion is carried. Representative Ward, please proceed with the certificate and lay presentation. The chair will call a recess to allow the members of the House to meet and congratulate the honorees. Recess. Will the House come to order? Members, we are on item 6, reports of standing committees. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Report numbers 1559-24 through 1578-24 as listed on pages 2 through 7, and that the accompanying House resolutions and House concurrent resolutions as may be amended be adopted.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Members, any discussion on STANCOM Report 1559-24 and 1560-24 in tandem? 1561 and 1562. Next page. 1563 and 1564. 1565, next page, and 1566. Representative Garcia.
With reservations.
So ordered. 1567 and 1568. Next page. 1569 and 1570. 1571. Next page. 1572. 1573 and 1574. 1575 and 1576. Next page. 1577 and 1578. Members will be taking a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Motion is carried. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Report numbers 1579-24 as listed on page 7, and that the accompanying House resolution as amended be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussion on SANCOM Report 1579-24? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Report numbers 1580-24 through 1583-24 as listed on page 8, and that the accompanying Senate bills as amended pass second reading and be placed on the calendar for third reading.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussion on SANCOM Report 1580-24? 1581. Representative Garcia.
Reservations.
So ordered. 1582. 1583. Members will be calling a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules of the House in order to consider certain Senate bills for third reading by consent calendar.
Representative Garcia.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Report numbers 1584-24 through 1588-24 as listed on page 9, and that the accompanying Senate bills pass third reading.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussion on SCR 1584-24? Representative Canadan.
In support, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
As the resolution notes, drowning is the leading cause of death for children under age 17. We are an island state. We are surrounded by water. It's only appropriate that we start to take measures here at the state and throughout the counties to further support drowning education and water safety. We are doing some of that through some of the bills that are being passed, but I think we have a long way to go. Thank you.
Any discussions on 1585, 1586, 1587, 1588? Representative Morikawa for the vote.
Mr. Speaker, on the measures before us, all majority members vote aye with the exception of the following. For STANCOM Report number 1585-24, SP number 2718, SD1, HD1, Rep. Amato votes no.
Representative Garcia.
On the measures before us, all minority members vote aye with the exception of the following. On page 9, SCR 1588-24, SB 2132, Senate Draft 1, House Draft 1, Rep. Pirrick votes no.
Have all votes been cast? Said Senate bills pass third reading. Members, please note that the 48-hour notice for HSCR 1589-24 through 1597-24 is listed on pages 10 and 11. We're on item 7, third reading. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the Senate bills listed on pages 12 through 14 pass third reading.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussions on SB 2333? SB 2193, SB 3033, SB 3034, next page, SB 3226, SB 2197, SB 3037, SB 2845, Representative Matsumoto.
Reservations.
So ordered. Representative Ward.
Same request.
So ordered. Representative Lamasao.
With reservations.
So ordered. Next page. SB 3011. SB 2119. SB 2532. Representative Matsumoto.
Mr. Speaker, at the appropriate time, could we go back to 1458?
Okay. Go on.
With reservations, please.
So ordered. Back to SB 2532, SB 2236, Representative Morikawa for the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the measures before us, all majority members vote aye with the exception of the following on page 12. STANCOM report number 1458-24, SB number 2333, HD1. Oh, I'm sorry. Scratch that. STANCOM report number 1459-24, SB number 2193, SD1, HD1. The following vote no. Amato, Ganaden, Hussey Burdick, Peruso. For STANCOM report number 1460-24, SB number 3033 HD1, Rep. Peruso votes no. For STANCOM report number 1461-24, SB number 3034 HD1, the following vote no. Cochran, Ganaden, Hussey Burdick, Martin. On page 13, STANCOM report number 1465-24, SB number 2845, ST2 HD1, the following vote no. Keela Kong. Thank you.
Representative Garcia.
On the measures before us, all minority members vote aye with the exception of the following. On page 12, SCR 1458-24, SB 2333, House Draft 1, Reps. Alcos, Garcia, Pirrick, and Ward vote no. On page 13, SCR 1465-24, SB 2845, Senate Draft 2, House Draft 1, Reps. Alcos, Garcia, Pirrick, and Souza vote no. On page 14, SCR 1466-24, SB 3011, Senate Draft 2, House Draft 1, Reps. Alcos, Garcia, and Pirrick vote no.
Have all votes been cast? Representative Peruso.
Mr. Speaker, I apologize. I'd like to make a correction. My no vote should have been not on SB 3033, but on SB 3034, SCR 1461.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Any other members? Said Senate bills pass third reading. Item 8, announcements, members. Representative Capella.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Following session from 1 to 3 p.m., there will be a screening, a documentary screening about
the Israel and Palestine conflict. There will also be a panel to answer questions following the film. So if anyone would like to learn more, I invite you to go to the auditorium. Thank you.
No further announcements. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 12 o'clock noon tomorrow.
Representative Garcia.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. The House stands adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow.